Hello and welcome. He loves embarrassing me. Yep.
Hey everybody. Thanks for tuning into Hyper RPG. I'm gonna let Bronze take it in 1 second. It's totally not awkward for you, Bronze. This is great. Don't you love working here?
No, I loved that entrance. That was great. That was stellar.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning into Hyper RPG. You are about to watch a really awesome, super cool open legend RPG, and we will have all sorts of information for you in the chat room, but we do not want to get in the way of the game, so our players today will not be reading the chat room. If you have questions, please ask the mods. We will update you on all the crazy things going on, and every 5 subscribers, we do a thing called a Chaos Die that I will let Bronze explain to you, but I will get out of your hair. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Hyper RPG. Hope you enjoy the show.
Bronze Boys, SMORC, Oceanman, SMORC, Bushwhackers, SMORC.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of Open Legend. I am your game master, ThatBronzegirl, and I have yet again assembled a stellar cast. We're not a cast. Wait, we are a cast. I immediately, being Indian, my brain immediately went to like caste system, and then I was like, wait, yes, no. A cast.
We could all have cast. Can we be right now?
Huh?
Can we have like an oligarchy?
In our game, we kind of already do.
Yeah,
Think about it, especially with the colonial aspect. Well, regardless, welcome to the second episode of Open Legend. We are using the Amaurea's Dawn setting from the Open Legend system. This system is a steampunk sort of fantasy world, and our adventurers have found themselves in this strange and savage land. They all hail from the steampunk metropolis of Schlechtenberg, but through a strange series of events, they've gone through a portal and are now in a savage, lush jungle, just like untapped natural sort of world, full of new, strange, and almost exotic creatures, flowers, and races. Last episode, our heroes decided to embark on an adventure to help a very inquisitive and intelligent mage named Dahlia to find a relic, and they found themselves stranded sort of in a swamp where they were then apprehended by the local native elves and thrown into cages. At this point, Dahlia, of course, talked her way out of the situation and was let out of the tent, but our heroes were left inside. So,
cool.
That should bring you up to speed with the game.
She abandoned us in our time of need.
Exactly. She's like, hey guys, come on this sweet adventure with me.
Can you see Dahlia being like, no, it's such a great idea. Yeah, I'll just go back. You guys stay here.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
It's so her.
It's so
and
her.
Now that our
she doesn't even care about this artifact that she's looking for earlier. She doesn't even care about it. She has the most squirrel syndrome I've ever seen in a character.
Well, I'm sure at one point she really cared about the artifact.
She hashtag not worth it. Not worth. And then she pieced out.
Basically. So now that you guys are caught up with what has happened so far, and once again, you can always ask our mods if you have any questions. We'll bring you up to speed on who we are. So we'll just go around and introduce ourselves as well as a brief rundown of our characters. I'll just start with myself because mine will probably be the shortest. I am ThatBronzegirl. I am a variety caster and content creator on Twitch, and I'm a host here at Hyper RPG as well, where I mostly talk about comic books and roleplay. And I'll just go this way. Aureylian?
Hi, I'm Aureylian. I am a huge nerd. I am also the community manager at Twitch, so you can see me all around the platform, conventions, all good stuff like that. But I also do live streaming, I do vlogs, I do all kinds of stuff. My character's name is Niva. She's an assassin. Not a very good one based on the last episode. Missed a lot of punches, but she basically gives no Fs and punch first, ask later. That's me.
I can't see what the direction of the circle is that we're going in.
Okay, my bad. Bear.
Okay, so
I can see it on my end.
Hey, I am BaerTaffy. I am on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, BAERTaffy. I am playing Jonathan Jericho, who is a blacksmith / courtesan from the Iron Arm Parlor. Yeah, no, it sounds good, doesn't it? He's got a silver tongue and a mighty hammer.
The fact that you use the word courtesan lets us know you have a silver tongue.
That's right. Yeah, I'm digging into this, man. I'm getting into the lore here. But he's currently in a cage, so not a lot of talking.
Nope. Should Jesse go or should I go next?
You should go next,
regular.
Ivan.
Okay, I'm Ivan Van Norman. I am a storyteller and regular on the GNS channel. You can find me on Twitch, in which I play board games and have an ongoing RPG show as well called the Foreververse. It's like Sliders meets Quantum Leap. And I'm playing Gaius Foltenswith. He is a Viscount of Schlechtenberg and is currently an eccentric dandy who has decided to come and explore the wide jungles in order to chart the unwilds. That'd be me.
That was a great intro. And last but definitely not least, our special guest for this week and next week as well, Jesse.
Yo, hello everybody. Hi, I'm Jesse Cox. I am internet menace and
Sensation.
yeah, we'll go that far, sure. You know what? Internet sensation, world famous lover and humblest guy he knows, Jesse Cox. I'm today going to be playing a character that I'm not even gonna get into. You just know that his name is Chance Bordeaux and he is amazing. So
You're so humble.
Chance Bordeaux is sounds like a porn name.
Him and Jonathan are getting into some high
Maybe it
early
is.
on.
His
You
name
know-
is Bordeaux.
Humility.
let's see how today goes.
But he does it with like the widest accent he possibly could put on it. Bordeaux. So
Yeah, Chance
But you
Bordeaux.
know,
Chance Bordeaux.
humility is one
And
of those
Bordeaux.
traits that I do
What
a
up?
really good job of of rewarding as a GM. Just so you know. I do a really good job. Characters who are as humble as yours, I usually do not punish in any way, shape, or form.
Don't worry,
Ever.
he is the humblest character who ever.
Jesse has never played a humble character ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that works out for you.
I'm excited.
All right, and with that, we're gonna get into character and get on with the show. Unless anybody else has any last thing to add. It's my little get into character.
Nothing
bit.
other than that you're amazing and wonderful, and thanks for GMing for us.
I'm
Aw,
in character now. I can't respond.
aw, thank you. You're beautiful, majestic, baby deity.
Baby
Yo,
deity.
don't let it get in your head. He's trying to get to you. He's
Yeah,
trying to win you
I
over.
can't
Don't
put-
let- I know what
can I-
Ivan's doing. I've played with that
But
asshole
unlike
before.
you, I am a GM people love, so I'm going to continue to harbor that. So
Yeah, Zach, why don't you go back to your hate pool where people hate
yeah,
you?
why don't you go back to GMing
He's
games
telling you,
where
watch out for Ivan.
I'm not gonna watch out for Ivan. I'm not afraid of Ivan. Look at him. Look at those beautiful mutton chops. Look at that. Are those the chops of an untrustworthy man?
Yes.
Next question.
And with that,
Let's move on.
I've never met a
Episode
pair of
2.
chops I didn't like. So that's all that we need to know
I'm
here.
gonna call it Chapter 2 instead. I changed my mind. Chapter 2 of Open Legend. We open on a camp, on almost an outpost in what is a desolate, dark, and dreary swamp. And in the swamp, we zoom in this camp on one tent in particular, and inside we have cages similar to what you would keep animals in, but instead of animals, we have one very upset looking assassin type lady, one very bewildered looking gentleman who's got a bunch of maps and useless items that just cannot get him out of the situation around him. Another gentleman who is tall and handsome and looks lost with what to do. All of his tools have been taken away from him. And a bunch of other various characters that are inhabiting the cells around them. Most of them smell awful. Most of them look like the type of people that you would not trust to do your taxes. They just look like people in general that might not be what you would consider the upper crust, or even the middle crust, or even the just kind of even acceptable crust of society. If these people would belong to a pie, that pie would be a shit pie. And this is where our heroes find themselves. And this is just after Dahlia has somehow talked her way with the guard, who is a very stately woman by the name of Zaretha, who is known as a Rochemancer in this land. And she's walked her way out of the tent. And is here we find our heroes. What do you guys do? What do you guys say to each other?
Jonathan is struggling with the scent. I can't even breathe in here.
Oh my, seem to have put us in a bit of a spot, haven't we? I say, Zaretha, are we allowed to eat or imbibe any refreshments of sort while we're in your present care?
I'm sorry, were you under the impression that you're on vacation, sir?
Well, whether you're on vacation or within confines between such a fine culture as yourself, one should not deport to such uncivilized type of properties. And I do believe we are both
Shut up.
hungry and
Just
thirsty.
shut up.
All right, then. I shall sit and wait for your whims, then.
You'll be dealt with in due time.
Well.
Our leader is currently speaking with the leader of your group to determine what we are to do with you.
Well, I mumble under my breath, not directly talking to her, but one wonders why I even left Schlechtenberg in the first place.
All this is going on. I'm just like turned with my back to her, like to the door, and I'm trying to like analyze the cages to see if there's any like loose areas, anything that I can. Do we know what their cages are made out of? Are they made out of like sticks or is it metal?
They're made out of vines. Very strong vines.
Is it like a living vine, like it looks like it was purposely shaped
Yes.
in order to make the cage?
Yes. Almost similar to the living bridge you went across. Quite strong, quite sturdy, and can be adapted almost on a whim.
Is there? Can we roll perception? Can I roll perception to see if there's any way I can break it?
You can try.
And how many? And while she's rolling, if I may ask, is it just Zaretha who's guarding us at the moment, or does she have some cronies with her?
Yes. There are 2 spearmen on either side of the entrance into the tent that you're being kept in, but their backs are to you. You can see them just outside of the tent, though. And you know that they're there. You saw them when you were brought in.
Since I don't seem to be on the greatest terms with Zaretha, I would like to try to make a persuasion with those other spear-like gentlemen to see if I can imbibe to their humanity. Well, humanities being primarily for humans, so let's just say personage.
Roll for it.
See if I can at least, again, get us food or water or something.
I rolled perception, 28.
28, that does not succeed.
Good.
Oh.
Okay.
Giles Fortenswith, or the Viscount Fortenswith, got himself a solid 3 in this situation. So let's
3.
hear me stumble over myself as I clearly try to offend her with my. I'm assuming this is a matriarchal society, so let's do something
What do you say?
stupidly patriotic.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I apologize. Both of you, good men, would you please appeal to this young lady, as you clearly are men of greater clout than what is here. I implore you to talk some sense into your women, please.
Jonathan takes Gaz by the arm upon hearing this, yanks him back.
What? Clearly are uncouth, uncivilized, and we're in a stinking cage.
Are we in the same cage?
We're all in the same cage.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
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 I'm just really tempted to just pop you in the mouth. Just really tempted to just.
You could roll for it.
I'm gonna look over at him and shoot him like the evilest. Like, stop. You better.
Well, the company I chose is. One would have hoped for better, more complimentary companies from their comrades. Fine. I'll just sit and diddle with my notes then, while you will diddle with the cages and we starve
Zarethra
to
is
death
tired
here.
of your speaking, and unfortunately for you, Zarethra is an arboromancer. So quickly, with just a flick of her wrist, she uproots a bit of the vine that was just kind of laying latent. And she wraps it around your mouth, and you feel the thorns kind of settle in. And she does it just tight enough to really put the squeeze on you.
That's fine. He's being an asshole anyway.
And then she leans in, and she says, "Watch your mouth, you little man." And she turns around, and she leaves the tent.
Okay.
And here, you are left for just a moment before she returns. And when she returns, she says to all of you, "It appears the leader of your group, well, she said that she would come back and bring someone who could vouch for your good character. If she doesn't come back by dawn, then we're going to execute you."
Oh, good.
That's typically how we deal with interlopers here.
Despite being silent and, very mouthy, Giles is actually not very fazed by this.
Not
Do
at all
I still have all my daggers on me?
No, they've been confiscated and placed inside of a
Everything's
chest.
been taken away. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any hidden assassin I feel like I would have a hidden assassin dagger. I feel like that's why I would do that.
Did you shove a dagger up your ass?
In my boot.
In your boot? They definitely would have checked your boots.
Oh man, all right.
How about your boobs?
Yeah, just right underneath the left one.
There
Yeah,
you go.
that's where I keep my
Are
dagger.
you
They only
trying to
check the
slice your
right.
tit
That's
off?
just that's a mistake.
Okay. There's no way we can punch or kick or fight our way out of these cages.
Probably not. You know from looking at them, they seem to be pretty strong.
Pretty much going to have to rely on whoever this person judging.
Mhm.
No, but we'll have to rely on whoever this person's character is going to come and save us, if at all.
Bear can't flirt his way out of this one.
I was thinking about it. I don't know, whether or not that's going to work out this time.
Is there
Zarethra sort of paces back and forth in front of your cage for just a few minutes, and she says, "This Dahlia, your troop's little leader, you do realize that the relic you were all seeking is not your property but ours. We are within our rights to execute you for, at the end of the day, conspiracy for theft. Do you have anything to say for yourselves?"
I had no intention of taking the relic. I was here on my own journey. I just happened to be tagging along with this band of misfits here. So, you want information about them, I will gladly hand whatever you want over.
John steps forward. Now, as you can tell, clearly our intentions may be our own to a certain extent, but ultimately our goal is noble. Our cause is just. We're attempting to make a move for the greater good here. And if I understood it more, I would convey it to you, but sadly, I don't have the information yet. But I can only tell you that our paths will not conflict.
The greater good, you say?
Ultimately, for all of us, yes.
Why do I feel that the greater good is just whatever benefits you and your people?
Without the proper information, it can be easy to see it that way. I almost see it that way myself. But I know that there's something driving us that ultimately will make it all worth it.
All I hear is flimsy excuses and weak alibis. She removes the vines.
Would you mind kindly removing the shackles placed upon my friend?
She removes the vines from your face. Giles.
He's passed out. He was so tight, he
would have still been able to breathe out of his nose.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, he's muted.
Oh, he's muted.
Idea. if I may first apologize profusely for offending you earlier. As you know, I am new to these parts, and my ignorance is mostly based on cultural differentiation more than it is an understanding or love of what your culture imbibes and brings to this vast and beautiful countryside that you call your own. I will echo the whims and wants of my comrades here and say that we were brought pretenses, and this desire for this artifact is not one that we wish to exploit. For myself and my own purposes, I would like to say that I am here simply to explore and discover the wildness that you bring upon this vast and gigantically glorious nature that you have about you. My only hope is to explore its tiny crevices and maybe even provide information that you yourself, despite however much can be brought into this place, to give you information that you may not have had previously and bring about you my own resources.
Yes, because clearly we need a foreign presence that has done nothing but mar our land with your disgusting smoke-spewing machines and destroy our forests to come in and tell us more about our nation than we know.
Am I one bringing in the forest and the smoke-belching monsters that you bring in? No, I am simply bringing in paper.
I don't know.
Pencil.
Which camp did you come from?
We came from the only camp that is really in this area
right.
amongst
Yes,
your
the camp,
natural
which is
areas that are
literally
your
an
own.
ugly mar upon our home.
Well, I, for one, have no intention of varring you further, and more importantly, I am not here with an axe, my dear. If I was, you might go and put me to the gallows yourself as you speak. But we are not here with sword, dagger, or knife in order to cut and bleed your space and your people. We are simply on a peaceful adventure in order to explore the wilds that you so offer. And if you have issues with some of the people who are, as you say, marring and destroying this country around you, then I implore you to take it to them and do not exact your wrath upon us. We are simply here as tourists.
Tourists, armed to the teeth.
Well, it is
bearing
dangerous
rumors
country.
of an artifact that does not belong to you and plans to take it.
My dear, if you seem so unconvinced about our plans in marring, then I implore you now, just please take us to the gallows and do with as you will, because to be honest, sitting amongst this uncivilized areas that you're bringing in, this stench most marring is, I would prefer the gallows instead.
In that case, we'll wait for a couple of hours after dawn instead of at dawn promptly.
That's fair.
She turns around and leaves the tent, clearly upset with all of you. You sort of have a little bit of Dahlia to blame for this, because it appears that she has told your imprisoners of all of your intentions, and they're not quite happy with what they've heard. But as soon as she leaves the tent, you hear sort of a rustling in the cage next to you, and you hear like a psst. Psst.
Yes.
Sup?
Hello?
From the darkness of that cage, you hear a golden voice whisper back. So, it seems like you're in a little bit of trouble.
Oh my, are we having a bit of a Monte Cristo moment? Are we amongst some greater company?
And from the darkness appears a man who, his clothes are a little disheveled, like a sort of just a normal, probably used to be white shirt, but now is definitely a little brown and worse for wear, and a gun belt and some pretty torn up pants. But aside from some stubble on his face, has the most immaculate hair you have ever seen. Just a gorgeous individual, just phenomenal, incredibly good looking. And he sort of scoots up close to the air, like the edge of his vines, and looks at the three of you and says, "Some trouble and possibly on the hunt for an artifact, you said?
Why is everyone so intent on this artifact that we seem to be drawn ourselves into? Yes, that was our original intention in coming out to this space. Are you an adventurer seeking glory and fame yourself?
Oh, I'm not just an adventurer.
Oh, do tell.
Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm Chance Bordeaux. And he sort of like does a flick of his hair and stares intently at the three of you, waiting for a response.
John just stares stone-faced.
I'm not even like looking at him. Like I'm just sitting in the corner with like my head propped up like on my knee, and I just like roll my eyes at him and just look away, like completely dismissing the whole interaction.
I said Bordeaux. I'm sorry, would you say the first name again?
Chance.
Chance Bordeaux.
Chance.
Yes, I do believe I remember reading something of that in some little trade novels that I saw back on the other side of the portal. They were promptly purchased by some of the finer sex, I would say, for casual reading.
Oh, wait, I know you. You're the barber, right?
No, I think he's the romance novelist.
Oh, the other Bordeaux.
Yes, that's the board. Oh,
They
different.
both sound boring, if you ask me.
Whoa! No,
Chance gives like a laugh. He's like, you have jokes, but do you have a way out of here?
Doesn't seem you do either.
Just so happens I was waiting for another adventure to come my way, and you three showed up just in time.
Oh, how convenient.
I'm just so glad.
What are the means in which you would have our escape procured?
And why are you here by design?
Lots of questions.
Those are questions best answered once we're outside of these cages, don't you think?
I agree with that.
So
Good.
because Chance was here before you were, he knows that one of the natives who was actually captured inside of this same cage that you were was able to fashion almost like a shank made out of one of the thorns. And being proficient in blood magic, she was able to almost infuse it with almost a kind of magic. However, she buried it somewhere underneath the dirt floor in your cell, and fortunately she wasn't given a chance to use it before she was carried off again. Whether to be executed or to be released prematurely, we don't know. What you do know is that Chance knows that it's in there. He saw it himself.
Can we roll to see how easy we can find it?
Well, I can tell you where it's at. I saw her bury it. But that's only if you'll get me out of here, too.
I mean, then what? When we get out, we don't have to escort you back or anything?
Oh, madam, I don't need escorts. If anything, you'll want to tag along where I'm going.
I've heard that plenty of times. If we just have to get you out and that's our only obligation, I say we do it.
I am fine with that, my dear. But trust me, this artifact you've been after, it is very important. And those stories you've read, they aren't just stories.
It seems we have another little adventurer who wants to join our party. I do say.
I like sort of put my finger up, and I'm like, you're going to be joining my party, friend.
I'll start looking for this thing.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
So are you gonna give them at least a hint of where it is?
Have they agreed to get me out of here?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Have
point to an area sort of in the back left corner of the cell, but don't really verbalize it. I just sort of point and watch them scurry around to try and find it. I'm like, it's over there. It's in the corner.
Okay.
It looks like I got a 22.
Mm-hmm. A 10. And describe how you go about looking for it.
I begin shuffling around various objects that are on the floor before exploring, because I'm assuming the vines may have thorns that are similar to this shank that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start testing the verbs. I have a hard time with verbs. The structural integrity of each one of the thorns to see if one of them slips out real easily.
Mm-hmm. Well, they seem pretty solid. It seems like maybe the crafter of this sort of, at this point, you can almost call it an artifact, was proficient in arbormancy herself and was able to maybe almost wrest control of a bit of the vine. And that's how she was able to create this sort of tool to get her out.
Don't quite understand. So if it's not in the actual vine itself.
No, it's buried.
It's buried.
Yeah, she's
buried.
removed a part of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know what you're doing over those vines. It's clearly under the ground. These are the people I've asked to help me. Great.
I just look at the dirt around kind of that general area, like towards the middle and towards the back left area, to see if there's anywhere that the dirt is obviously been disturbed, or it's not in the same pattern, or it's bumpier, or there's something where it's not a cage, where a cage would have dirt that's matted completely down where people have trampled on it, but there's got to be an area that doesn't seem like that.
Jonathan's just digging like a dog, just creating holes everywhere.
Wait, really?
Excellent, I will watch.
So you're just digging like a dog?
Yep, just
and you didn't
looking down there, don't find it, go on to the next hole, picking it up.
Would you say that you're doing this pretty vigorously?
Oh, don't hurt yourself. No, Bear, no, you're going to prick your finger.
How would he hurt himself? I'm just asking questions.
I got strong hands. I'm confident. I'm wearing those big old blacksmith gloves too, right?
So you're just really going at it.
I can dig.
Oh, okay. Well, all the dust you kick up sort of alerts, and all the commotion you're making, the two guards at the door who you didn't really think about when you started to do that.
Oh.
And
I begin coughing violently and goes, water, please. Sirs, we seem to have stirred up some dust in our very anxious state. Please.
Did I find anything at all?
Let's see. Oh, did you roll perception?
Yeah.
33. Yes, you find an area, but you haven't started digging it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna convince them to go back out and get us water.
Can you roll for it?
I'm doing it, Bronze Girl. No.
Your rolls today are not.
Oh my god, they were so good last time.
Mm-hmm.
I got 16. I rolled a 1 on my attribute dice.
Yeah, man.
What a poop stick.
So sadly, they are not swayed by what you say, and instead they reach through the bars and grab our blacksmith friend up off the ground, off of his knees, and just slam him into the vines and say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Digging.
They slam you again and say, "Are you
got-
daft?"
He's got some bugs that we picked up, so he's trying to just coat them in dirt to stop the itching. He's very barbaric. He's very barbaric. I'm so sorry.
Can you roll for your charisma?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one is that under?
It should be. It'll be a persuasion roll.
Oh,
Yeah,
persuasion.
just persuasion.
Mm-hmm. Oh no!
We're so bad today.
She rolled a 7. The other guard grabs you by the hair and says, "Normally we don't treat women with such disrespect, but in your case we may make an exception if you don't shut your mouth and learn your place." And with that, he lets you go.
That's...
Suddenly, dust starts to waft over in their direction, and you turn to see Chance is digging in his cell furiously. Furiously digging. And looks over at the guards, and he's like, "You better tell Urethra, it's crazy in here!" And he's just going nuts.
You have dined us to be dead in a few hours. This is how anxious men spend their last few hours. And women, I apologize.
Jonathan attempts to get back to digging as though he's just got this compulsive need to keep doing it.
Can I just I'm gonna just where I know the dirt patches, kind of subtly scooch back and start digging at the grounds behind
So you're all digging.
Well, so they can't see because I'm doing it super gentle, as if I'm sitting.
No, that's
on my
good.
hands.
So
That's
we're
good.
violent-
That helps tell the story.
And I'm just while they're digging, I'm just ranting the way that a colonial man rant in the midst of this cage, with dust flying everywhere. And as long as we're loud and obnoxious, I'm going to take the loud and obnoxious up to 11. Is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Not knowing what to do with what the guards now think is a bunch of crazy people. And not too worried about you digging out because they know that it would take you days and days and weeks to dig out from underneath the vines, especially because they grow down, up from the ground. They instead are content to punch around our poor Giles because he's been such a nuisance this whole time. The vines temporarily part, just temporarily, and they grab Giles and pull him through and disappear outside of the tent with him.
Son of a bitch. That's fine.
You're so loud and obnoxious.
Giles is
He
loud
turned it up
and
to 11.
I did turn it up to 11, and I just start. I will, as soon as we are out, I will calm down a bit and steady myself, and more importantly, I'll straighten up my jacket or whatever I've got going, and I will go to my punching with dignity, like a man from
what?
Berg would do.
Very nice. They grab you roughly, carry you out, or push you out of the tent into the middle of the sort of camp, where it's actually gotten quite dark now and things are very silent as night has started to fall. And they put you in stocks with your hands through and your head through. And
Familiar.
They say, if you won't act civilized, we won't treat you civilized. And they whip you a few times on your bum. And then go back to guarding the camp, or slowly start to make their way back towards the prison, pretty confident that you guys haven't gotten anywhere with your search, but you do have some time before they make their way back, because they're having quite a good time giving Giles a spanking, probably because he's saying all kinds of things while they're doing it.
Well, okay. I was gonna say them. I'm definitely since in such a humiliating position for a viscount at the moment, I will lift my head up high and take my beatings with a grunt and a bit of a spit in my eye. But silent. Very,
Good.
very silent.
Good. At least take your beating with dignity.
Exactly.
While he's out there, I just look at Jonathan and I'm like, curse the gods. I'm so glad it's quiet, but now we have to go after him. Can't just leave him out there. He'll just get himself in more trouble. I'm gonna keep digging.
Yes, you can.
Do I get it out?
Yes, you find almost what looks like a petrified bit of thorny vine. And it's imbued with a strange sort of color that is almost like a blood red. And you're not quite sure if it's going to work, but you have the feeling that this isn't a normal cutting tool.
Okay.
It doesn't look like something that you've seen before. This looks different.
If I have it in my hand, can I, the way that the cages are aligned, can I reach over and cut Mr. Bordeaux's cage first?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get his attention and then reach my hand through and cut his cage first.
Okay. What happens as soon as this strange sort of thorn meets the vine is it has some kind of curse or necrotic plague inside of it, and the vines around you start to grow soft and mushy and kind of start to wither up a little bit, and you get the sense that you could maybe like just stretch them or push your way out. They're not hard and solid the way they were before.
Chance steps through the vines. He sort of pulls them apart and steps through, and then gives his rescuer sort of a wink. And he's like, I thought you cared. And then he goes over and he's like, now, let me help you. And he sort of like braces himself to hold vines open like a real stud would do. But clearly they're still like rigid and hard. And he's like, do it.
I'm just gonna like look over at Jonathan and be like, he clearly has no idea of like what. And taking the blade and coming within like, fractions of like maybe even like just almost grazing his knuckles. I'm just gonna like as hard as I can hit the cage, like close enough that like you thought I was purposely aiming at your hand. Just
he looks at his knuckles and looks at the blade and looks at you and he's like, I like him dangerous. Pulls it apart.
You two are going to be a match made in heaven, I swear. You're just going to try to out-badass each other this entire session.
Jonathan's been through this rodeo. He knows this leads nowhere good.
No, Jonathan's like the least bit getting a little jealous about Chance's advances as well. He's starting to just get that little bit of a flare of...
Chance looks over at you and does like a...
There's only enough of magic left in the sort of strange implement that the last prisoner made to soften up some of the vines of their enclosure, but it softens up enough that you can make your way through.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it, like pocket it, like put it back in like the knife hilts that I have,
okay.
And then as I'm like Chance is holding them over, I'm gonna like crawl through and just elbow him as hard as I can in the side as I like scooch past him very obviously.
Okay.
And Chance takes the elbowing and gives you like, as you come through, and all he does is like give you the whole like eye up and down like, all right.
Well,
Jonathan, you coming?
Yeah, Jonathan crawls through as well. Not really getting as aggressive, but standing up tall and looking straight down at Chance very briefly before walking past.
Chance gives him a slap on the back and he's like, all right, buddy, let's do this.
So
Jonathan just shakes his head.
You do have, like I mentioned at the beginning, your weapons have been kept in a chest near the entrance of the tent. You might want to grab those.
Convenient.
Yeah.
I was going to ask about that when you guys found me, but
Do we have all the backpacks and stuff? It's like it's just all of our backpacks, right?
Yes, and it's for the most part the same way that you left it. They really only just searched you guys and took everything and put it in a few different chests and laid up the packs against the wall.
Is Dahlia's stuff still here?
No, you notice hers is missing, and she was able to take it with her when she left.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab mine. She's so terrible. I'm gonna grab mine and then the extra one to take to him as we try to like figure out how to rescue him. So I have both of them in my hands.
Okay. And what do you do? Do you make your way directly out of the tent, or how do you want to do this?
No, I'm gonna turn around and like look at Chance and Jonathan and be like, so what's the plan? Do we just storm the Bastille, or what are we doing here? Are we gonna sneak out? Are we gonna leave him?
We should probably
rescue
go
him?
get Ivan, right?
First we need to find a way out of here. I've been here long enough that I know a few other exits. Maybe we can try those. Can I perception roll for that?
Definitely, yes. Go for
Hopefully you actually do.
Hopefully I do know that.
Oh no. So he rolled a 12, and you're vaguely aware of direction that you remember being sort of a back door or a less guarded area, but you don't 100% remember where it goes or how to. You just know that it's when you exit the tent, it's to the right.
Chance does like a look around the room and almost like a 360, and then just points in a direction. He's like, that way, and starts walking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I rolled perception. Do I believe him?
For that, you would probably want to roll. Let's see. Let me think here.
Did you roll against my persuasion?
I would say I would have you roll maybe like logic, or maybe not even logic, maybe deception.
Okay. Oh, wait. Deception doesn't work. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, if it does have 0 on it, you can just do the die roll.
Yeah, there should be a...
I add that, plus I add a d4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good.
Good.
You rolled a 6. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I definitely believe him.
Yeah, you do.
All right. I'm just gonna
like that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like grab all this stuff and just trek on and follow him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just along for the ride now.
Mm-hmm. So when you exit the sort of tent, you see this really wide, empty camp in which you see a lot of different buildings. There's some torches keeping everything alight, and you notice vaguely that this is built atop a bog, and that everything is resting on these almost sort of platforms connected by very rickety walkways and walkways made out of vines as well as wood, whatever they could find really. And you can kind of tell just from looking at it that it's kind of a makeshift outpost that they're using for some greater purpose. Who knows why they're out here really. And you notice in the middle of everything a very flustered looking Schlechtenberg man who has been bent over with his hands and his head in stocks. And you also see coming towards you in the darkness, but it's still dark out, but backlit by the torches that are around this sort of the stocks. You see 2 guards coming back towards you.
That I'd place a bet on that being Mr. Fortensworth over there.
Yeah.
They're headed to him, not us. Yes.
They're headed to you. They've just finished doing whatever they were doing to the poor Mr. Fortensworth, and they're headed back towards your way. But
They
you
don't
have a
see
few
us,
minutes
though.
before they see you. Yeah, it's dark where you're at, so you have a few minutes before they see you, or
Can
notice
I-
that something is amiss.
Can I sneak, like try to be really quiet and sneak around like in the dark to like circumvent them and try to go see what he's like locked? Is it open? Like how?
Yeah, you can
after they
roll.
beat me a bunch, did they just take off and leave me there, or are they just sitting and laughing? Like what's?
They're walking back. They intend to leave you there for the rest of the night. So they're walking back to their post.
Then I would like to investigate my locks a little bit.
Yes, roll for it.
Cool. Oh, well, now that that's over, let's see what we have here. All right. A little bit of jimmying there. No, well, isn't that interesting? Yep.
Is that your third nat? Like,
That's his
is that your third?
one.
My
critical
third
fail?
one of the session. Oh, well, I seem to know nothing about what's going on in here. Damn these arbomancers and their willy-nilly viney things. Oh, well,
Mhm.
best just wait for my comrades, or, as they say, take one in the
Secret.
boot.
It's just a normal padlock. But he doesn't know that.
You rolled bad enough to misidentify it.
Nima, do you want to roll for your stealth?
Yeah.
It's
Is
just,
that-
just
I
a
should
normal
probably-
padlock.
Which one would I roll for stealth?
Let's see. You would roll
Deception.
agility, actually.
Agility.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's an evasion that's a resistance, though, right?
Yes,
How-
evasion is a resistance.
I
Oh
swear-
no!
I swear that the more points you attribute to something in your thing, the less able you are to roll. I have every thing I have extra d10s, and every time I roll under 10.
Maybe y'all just have really bad rolls, though.
But I rolled a 33 on something else.
I know. That
Not
is-
today. You got a 5 with a D20 and a D10.
How is that even a thing?
That's the thing.
It's actually incredible.
I swear, I don't trust technology, man.
Unfortunately, while you're trying to sneak past the guards, you're carrying all of this stuff. You're carrying 2 packs, and you're carrying Giles' pack in particular, which has a lot of garbage hanging off
It's
of it.
always Giles' fault.
And there's like, out of nowhere, you're just trying to sneak, and you have this pack balanced in one arm, and a bunch of silver utensils, just as you tilt it, come clattering out and clang along the wooden planks and
I've
fall.
already lost one of those. Don't lose my silver utensils as well. I'm yelling this to her in the midst.
They roll
my
off
stock.
the edge of the wooden walkway into the bog below, and the guards are immediately made aware of your presence, and they come to engage you. So
Great.
roll for initiative.
I'm just gonna start punching. I don't.
You still need initiative.
What? Do what?
Guys, roll for
Initiative.
initiative.
Yeah, initiative. It's initiative time.
Mhm.
That would be my will or agility.
I'm having a hard time finding it on here.
Oh, the initiative, it's under actions, I think.
Yeah.
It's under actions.
Yeah.
Yes, so it should be the top right underneath actions, and it'll take your stats into account when it rolls it, if you get any stat bonuses.
Why am I dumb? Where's actions?
So it's the second it's right under resolve, and then that sort of second column.
I feel like an idiot.
If you scroll down a bit on the first page.
Actions.
Yeah, there you go.
Hit attack.
No, I don't think it's actually under. I think we only because they put the new sheet together. It's just there's just attack under action. So normally our initiative would be based on here.
I mean, Jonathan's is under there. There's initiative on.
I see it. I just see none.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, mine just says.
Some of the players have initiative there.
Nope.
Yeah.
So do we just roll a d20?
Yeah, you can roll a d20. That works.
And I think it's
Good.
pulse agility.
Cool. All right, 4.
Yeah, so you'll
I'm
need
the
to
world's
roll
best
your-
assassin.
You'll get a bonus for your agility as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's just an agility.
Oh, do you want us to roll agility then?
You roll a d20 and then add your agility bonus to it.
Yes.
I mean, that's my.
If you
that's
have
fine.
an agility bonus.
I
I don't
do.
think everybody has one.
I do.
Okay,
I have a
perfect.
d10. So if I roll a d20 and a d10, which is my agility roll, that's what I get.
Okay, perfect.
I get a 12. But I'm in stocks anyway, so who cares?
He's
Yeah.
fighting just with his hands, just like this.
Swatting him around.
Bring his face closer so I might slap him a bit. Get yes, bring it down just a little lower, please.
You can trip someone behind you.
Yeah.
Well, because clearly I'm befuddled by this abundant arbormancer technology, which is just a couple of vines like latched onto each other like this. I could peel it with my hand. Oh no, she said it was a padlock. Never mind.
But you don't know that it's a padlock.
No, I think
Because
it's
you
some crazy
critically-
technology.
You critically failed. So, Chance actually gets to go first. Chance, what do you do?
I have a delightful ability. It's a boon, darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Can I cast that on these two gentlemen so that the area immediately around them is suddenly completely covered in darkness? It's nighttime, right? So
Yes.
I can make it immensely dark to the point where they can't.
Yes, unnaturally dark even.
Just so they can no longer see anything around them. Just in
Yes,
their
you can definitely
general
do that.
vicinity. Excellent.
So I
That's
just
what
need you
I'll
to
do.
roll to inflict the bane. I was going to call it a boon for a moment there.
Well, yeah. Uh-oh, that didn't do it.
That's what I did last time.
What? How do I do it then?
Okay, so basically you want to make an action roll, and then I will check for the NPC's defense.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Because it is a bane, correct?
It's.
Or is it a boon?
It just makes an area.
That would probably be a boon, and if it's not attacking them.
No, it just makes an area around them. It's a boon. It just makes the area around them dark. So they can see your feet.
Okay, that is different then. In that case, just a moment.
Darkness, sustained percents, attributes, entropy, and influence.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just one major action is all it is.
Yes. So you'll just need to you'll still have to make an action roll, but it'll be against a challenge rating instead.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'm using Influence Bane then for this?
Yes, since influence is the stat that.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. I believe it was. Since you have it pulled up, Ivan, is it actually entropy?
It's entropy, and the other one was stand by because I was going to mine instead. Darkness.
Actually, I think I have them here too.
Yeah, it's entropy or influence.
Great.
I would assume.
So you can cast it using influence.
All right, and oh my goodness, this one has. I am trying to figure out what my advantage on this is. But I have no advantage, right? No
Yeah,
advantage
so you would have no advantage or disadvantage. So you just type in 0 for both.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you rolled a 15, and that does succeed. So all of a sudden, the two guards, as they are rushing towards you, the entire area around them goes pitch black, and they can't tell what's up, what's down, what's forward, or what's back. And they immediately become almost befuddled and slow down and immediately kind of just start crawling in every which direction just to try to get their bearings and try to figure out how to get out of here. I will, however, have to have Ivan roll for his resolve to see if it affects him, since he was sort of within range of that.
If I was close to it or not?
Yes.
I shall roll my resolve and see if I'm
Well, actually, I
in
think
it.
your resolve just is a static amount.
The bane is removed.
No, your resolve should just be a static number.
Oh, it's currently I rolled it. Who? My resolve is just a solid 10. Just a 10.
So unfortunately, it doesn't do well against that 15, and you are also plunged into eternal darkness.
Oh my!
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
well.
Not like you weren't already a little bit confused, but
Yes.
now you're definitely confused.
Did I just die? Am I dead now? I'm in the stalks and I'm in darkness. There can't be anything more.
All right,
humiliating.
Nympha, it's your turn.
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
Did my roll from before count? Is that what we're using?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My agility roll.
Yep.
Okay. So as they're kind of like scattered and plunged into darkness, I'm gonna try to like sneak up behind, like listen for like where they're crawling, and try to sneak up from behind like each of the guards and like try to snap their necks.
Are you sure you want to brave the darkness?
Yes.
Okay. So
I am confident in my ability to rely on my other senses as an assassin because I've been trained on all of these different things, right? So
okay.
I'm gonna risk it to catch them in the act of trying to keep them caught off guard.
Okay. So I'm going to have you roll your perception. Actually, what is your resolve? That'll determine whether you're affected by it or
13.
not. 13. So unfortunately, you would be affected by the darkness, but let's see. I'll have you roll your perception and see how well you can track them down.
Do I have a disadvantage at all?
No, I won't. I won't
Okay.
hold you at disadvantage.
12.
12. Okay, and let's see here.
Attack.
I've got something for this.
I also have an ability. One of my abilities is stunned, which means if let me find exactly what it says. If I'm within like melee range of them, it limits them to like one single major action.
Okay. All right. So, let's see here. Unfortunately, in the darkness, you are able to get a sense of where they are.
Okay.
But you're not able. So I'll put it this way: you're able to get a set. You're able to hear them scuffling around and trying to figure out where they're going, and you can actually tell one of them is coming back up towards where Giles is because they've gotten turned around in sort of this dark circle. But you're not 100% sure enough to be able to pinpoint their location and actually be able to grab one of them or take an action against them.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next turn is Giles. You're up.
You're muted again, Ivan.
Flip it.
I will sit in the stocks in the midst of darkness.
Okay.
And since I can't seem to remove it and I can't seem to have my blunderbuss about me, I'm feeling quite helpless at the moment.
Okay. All
there
right.
we go.
And then one of the guards is going to take his action. Unfortunately, he does not have an advantage on his roll. He has a disadvantage since he is in the darkness, so he'll be trying to roll to regain his bearings. And then we'll add a modifier. Okay. 17 plus 5. I wish it just added them for me, because then now I have to do math. Alright, so he at this point starts to kind of regain his bearings in the sort of darkness that he's been plunged into. And you see him almost kind of get up and start to, not quite standing up, but still sort of crouching, almost like you do when the lights are off in the house and you kind of need to get around, with his hands out in front of him, one hand on a spear, and using that almost like a stick, start to actually make his way towards what looks like a large bloom. It's like a large flower bloom, and it is extended outwards almost like a cone, and it's sitting almost on this little pillar, and it has a rope hanging from it. And it looks something like,
Oh, no.
it looks organic, but almost maybe like it's some kind of horn. But you can't
Giles
be
can't
sure
see
of
any of
that.
this, right? He's just
No, he can't.
no, I'm darkness. Yeah, okay.
But you start to see one of them kind of understand what is going on, and understanding, no longer confused by situation, make his way towards that horn. And then, all right, Jonathan, I believe it's your turn.
All right. Do I see this occurring?
You could try to peer into the cloud and see, or into
Let me give that a
the
shot.
pitch darkness.
Sure. That's perception.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Unfortunately, you don't see it, but you do hear that they're moving a little bit faster now.
Okay.
More with purpose, less with fumbling, and more with a little bit of purpose.
Sure. With no idea of the immediate danger, then I suppose Jonathan's MO here is to go take care of Giles. So he's going to try to make his way over there and unlock the shackles, or
Okay.
the stockade.
Okay, so I will have you roll for that, and in fact, I'll just have you roll for resolve.
Okay.
Or actually, you don't roll for resolve, so what is your resolve?
12.
12, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go ahead and say you can do it, but it's going to take you an extra turn.
Okay.
Because you do have to make your way across this sort of pathway that it has the darkness on it to where Giles is, and it would also require you going past the two guards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
All right. And then we have the second guard's turn, and he has actually fumbled his way almost past where Nimha is, because he kind of heard you walking towards him. And he's starting to get his bearings of where he's at. And we're actually going to see if he can... Let's see if it succeeds first. Okay. So, our second guard, now getting sort of a sense of what's going on, successfully sort of ignites a part of his spear into not even like a fire, but more like an ignition of like a fluorescent light, almost like he's manipulating the DNA inside of this sort of spear, and it lights up the immediate area around him, and he immediately sees this sort of assassin standing above him. However, he is a little bit startled by what he sees, so he doesn't take an action right away. And then we'll move back down, and it will be Chance's turn again.
Chance runs full force into that guy from behind.
Into the light, into the guy holding the light?
The man who just ignited the light.
Just like bull rushing them?
Yeah, charges him as hard as he can.
Okay,
Legit.
Can you roll for your attack?
I can do that. What would I it's not a weapon, so what am I rolling for that? Is it
You should have a raw attack roll.
Might?
Yeah.
All right. Great. Done.
Do you
Jonathan,
have one under your actions?
would you mind, sir? I would very much enjoy getting out of these stockades.
Doing the best I can.
I'll do it faster. We all would like to get out of here, please.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Nothing, sorry. I have a ranged attack. I can't find my normal attack. Help me out here, gang.
Here, let me look at your sheet and see. So,
I think for just your regular attack, it's whatever attribute would be your base to point on. So that'd be might if you're going to be bull rushing them, maybe?
You can actually just roll your ranged attack. The only difference is instead of evasion, I would just use my defense.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and use that roll. Ooh.
I don't care. I run in full throttle at this guy.
Legendary Chance Bordeaux making a strong start here.
He does not even care.
Unfortunately, because you rolled a 4, you completely, maybe with your speed or being disoriented by the darkness, you completely miss the guy and barrel into Nipah instead.
Can I just acknowledge that we are the most blundering legends in this?
I don't know what's up with your guys' rolls today.
I'm believing that there's some kind of higher being.
And it's Open Legend is one of those systems where you fail forward, but you guys are making it really hard.
They sure are.
With rolls like 3 and 4, I'm just like, okay, let's see. How can we make this fail forward?
Yeah, how do we fail forward? We fail forward into a bottomless pit, which is the direction we're going.
We're failing with a basic padlock. Aurelian's in there trying to crawl around in the darkness.
Can I try to
You're like biting it,
but dodge out of the way in time? Can I? Or do I have no power over that? He just barrels. He's on top of me. There's nothing I can do.
I'm going to say you can attempt to make an evasion check and see whether he gets you flat on your back prone or whether he just knocks you off balance.
My evasion is 14.
Okay, perfect. So in that case, I'm going to go ahead and say that he just knocks you off balance and you'll just take a disadvantage on your next roll.
Okay.
But it does barrel into you pretty hard, into the side of you, and completely misses the guard that is just a hair to
I don't believe that was accidental. Or it's probably a butt grab in there somewhere too.
Yeah, because she's shrouded in darkness, would she even know that it was me that had done that?
She can smell you.
She could probably hear and tell. She's pretty perceptive. Yeah.
What?
She's quite perceptive, so I'm gonna say that.
I'm an assassin, sir.
All right, well then, I stumble into her and find myself laying flat on the ground after I stumble over her, and I look up at her. I'm like, meant to do that.
Right. Can I? So the guard is near me, right?
Yes.
If he misses, your turn. So is there a way? Is it my turn?
Yes.
So I want to. Am I close enough? Am I in close enough range to actually attack him?
Yes, definitely. Okay. You're in melee range.
Okay. Then I want to just. I don't know. I want to go for him with the magical knife.
Okay. So what I will do is I'll have you roll your melee attack to see if it works, and then I'll give you a bonus on your damage, but you will have to take a -1 for disadvantage when it prompts you to do so, since you're a little bit off balance.
Right.
So
some
the
giant
melee
dude
one
just
is
barreled
that
into
just
you.
an attack roll? I guess.
Yeah, just an attack roll, and then I'll add the bonus.
I have to roll a d20 because these are all busted, right?
I didn't think
Yeah.
everyone's were busted, but I think yours might be because it shouldn't roll a 0.
So I just roll a d20, right?
Yes, but you would have, I think in your case, you would have an agility modifier.
Yeah, agility modifier plus a d20. So.
Ooh.
How is this happening?
Oh
How
my
does this happen?
Another
Every
2? Another
time.
2?
How do you get a 2?
I
How
don't
do you-
understand.
Ugh.
This is. I don't believe in this system
You
anymore.
can try adding your agility to it. It might make it a little bit better. If you
Just
roll
gonna
for
put
your
I
agility.
mean, if I just roll agility,
Well, no, it would just be your.
hold on. If I
It would just be your agility modifier, so it would be 4. You would just get 4 plus 4 to it.
Yeah,
I rolled
because your
agility.
agility roll has a 20 already added to it.
Yeah, so you would just be it would just be your glorious 2 with a 4 added to it for a total of 6.
I like the fact that if I roll agility though with a disadvantage, I roll a 26. Can we use that instead?
We can't because you rolled a 2 the first time.
Too late. Stumble and you fall right on me. I'm like, welcome to the.
With the knife? You don't want me to fall on you with that knife.
It lands right between my legs. I'm like, ooh, you're dangerous.
So
Feel my heat, baby.
unfortunately, the spearman has he has like these thick, almost like these chest plates, almost made out of like a chitin or something that looks almost insectoid to you, and it easily deflects your sort of off balance blow right off of his pauldron. And then it is the first guard's turn.
Oh, lucky him. Let's see if
Yes.
he rolls a natural 20, shall we? The way that this is going.
Well, the guard is actually, he has reached this sort of strange bloom-shaped horn, and he pulls on a sort of like weird wire, and all of a sudden
no, he sounded the horn.
you hear this really strange, like almost like farting noise that comes out of the bloom, and it emits this strange, almost like pheromone that carries through the wind and slowly starts wafting around the camp.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, who's up?
That's a good question.
You are, Giles.
I'm going to, in my stocks, with my hands still up and my... Giles! I'm sorry. Jonathan! Jonathan, your damn blacksmith! Just hit it with your hammer, damn it! Hit the damn lock with your hammer!
I suppose we're not interested in stealth anymore, are we? He just smacks away at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, your turn was next, Jonathan, so I'll just have you do a might check.
Okay.
Or you can try making a swinging attack with your hammer.
Which one would that be?
Do we have your hammer set up as a weapon?
I don't think we do.
Okay, let's see. If not, I do have stats for it on hand, and I can add the damage modifier. So you can just roll for your base attack.
Okay. Is that a D20? Yes. Good. D20. Yeah.
In your case, no, yours is going to be different because I believe you are a might-based character. So let me see here. You would want to roll. I would roll your might,
Okay.
and it'll add the d20 on its own.
Mm-hmm. That's a better number than 2.
Okay, so you rolled a 12, and then with your modifier, I believe that comes up to a 16.
Mm-hmm.
Which does actually indeed break the lock. And so the lock sort of, you hear a loud clang and the lock just kind of falls apart. It was an old rusty lock anyway. And the lock itself doesn't break apart, but rather the little loop where it's nailed into the stock, that is what gets rusted off and breaks off. And then you realize you can just lift the top part of the wood and release Giles, where he has been sitting
Jonathan
like this for way too
swims
long.
Excellent. Jonathan, hand me my blunderbuss.
Jonathan just leaves.
Well then.
We're still in impenetrable darkness, though, right?
Yes, at this point it has started to clear a little bit, and you've also, your eyes have adjusted a little bit to the darkness, and you can kind of see each other a bit.
Do I see where Nim is, so I can maybe find the bag that has?
Yes, she's closest to you.
All right,
So,
I'm gonna.
Yes, this walkway was between the camp and the middle of the where you were held in the middle of the camp, where you were held in stockade, where you were held both times. There is a guard who is closer to your prison, who has used the sort of weird pheromone air horn, and then there's another guard who is further along, closer to you, and that is where Chance and Nimha are.
Could I burn essentially my feet for this session as far as knowledge goes, to kind of see what that horn, that pheromone was meant to do? Because I haven't guessed, but I'd like to confirm it.
So I just need you to roll for it.
I actually think that it makes me auto-succeed on a knowledge check.
Oh, what is your feat?
The feat is knowledge. You automatically succeed on any learning check related to your chosen sphere of knowledge with a challenge rating of 16 or lower. So as long as your challenge rating is lower than 16, it would just be an auto success.
Which it is lower than 16. So in that case, you immediately sort of recognize this technology that you've heard of and read about. And it's an organic sort of aerosol system that disperses through the area, and everyone who breathes it in immediately comes awake, and they use it almost like an organic alarm, but it is a almost silent alarm.
I see. Well, then as I'm out of the
Think of it as a smelling salt.
As a smelling salt, okay. And I probably
the
even
one that only really affects the anatomy of these elves in particular, since they're biologically more susceptible to it.
So I'm gonna smell it a little bit myself as I get up and grab a spore. And gentlemen, ladies, we'll be expecting lots of company here soon, so I suggest we leave now. And I will get up and run for my bag and try to pick up Nim in the same action.
Okay, definitely. So I'll just have you roll for your agility.
Leaving now would be good. Whoop.
Okay, so you rolled a 17, so I'm going to say that succeeds. You're able to help Nimha up, and you also grab your bag as well. And did you audibly say to the rest of the party that you should go?
Yeah, so as I grab my bag and I grab Nimha, I stand up and goes, everybody, we're going to have company here very soon. I suggest we leave now. And I run really to any direction that doesn't have buildings at it. So.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say that'll have to be your next turn, because on this turn you did move across and pick her up. Sadly, it is the second guard's turn, who is standing in front of you. And seeing what you're doing, he immediately sort of thrusts at Nimha with his spear, since she was the one who attacked him first. So I will roll for him very quickly.
I don't like people thrusting at me.
It's not ideal. So let's see. So what is your defense?
Do I roll defense or do I?
No, it's a static number.
It should just be on your sheet, right?
Yeah, it should be close to the top of your. Actually, it'll be not defense. Your toughness.
Oh, toughness is 16.
16. So basically, you take. Let's see. That's going to be. Sorry, I have to do some math here. I got it.
I have a strong amount of will too. That's one of my abilities. to be able to like withstand pain and not like.
Yeah, so that'll
So should
definitely
I-
help you, but
Okay.
you do take 7 damage.
It's a minor flesh wound.
Tis but a flesh wound. You actually have quite a bit of health, so.
Okay. Can I
Wait.
attack him back?
What was your original health value? It was 22, right?
22.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you go,
So I
you
took
go down
my
to 15 health.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can I attack him back?
It's
Does
not
the spear
quite
go
your turn
in,
yet.
or does he just like graze me?
Yes. Well, you guys aren't moving yet. It's more of like while Giles is helping you up, he kind of takes a cheap shot at you and just quickly kind of thrusts you a bit in an attempt to slow you down, probably in the side of your thigh as you're getting up. It is dark, so he doesn't get you anywhere vital, but you do get a bit of a cut there.
Can I, because I still have that knife because I missed the first time, can I try to take the knife and like throw it at him? Like just from where I'm standing so I don't have to like engage him in battle. Can I take that like magic imbued knife and just chuck it at him and see if it hits him?
We may need that later.
You can attempt to, but since you just took a big hit and since you're still coming up from being like down on the floor, I'm gonna say you take 2 disadvantage on it.
So
But you can attempt to make a ranged attack, yes.
So that would be agility, yeah?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
– 23.
23, okay. So that does hit. And our spearman takes 4 damage from the attack, or from the...
Does the magic knife do anything to him though, because it's imbued with magic?
Well, remember that part when you were leaving the cell, the magic barely was enough to soften even a little bit of that vine. It was just enough for you to get out.
So we
it's
use
been
all the
depleted.
magic out of it. Okay.
Yeah, but because it is made out of the same material as its armor, that thick sort of hidey, thorny material, it does pierce and it does sort of get him in the side when you throw it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
So now it's Chance's turn, who is lying flat on the ground. You'll only be able to take 1 major action this turn.
Great. Chance, can I kick the feet out from under this guy who was just hit with the thorn?
Definitely, if you could just make an attack.
Okay. And this kick maneuver, is this an agility-based attack?
Yes, I would say yes.
Excellent. Okay.
Super agile.
Just want you to work attack. Uh-oh. No, I did that. That's range, though. I didn't mean to do that.
Actually, that works.
Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, because it's still a d20, I believe, plus your agility. It's just, instead of making it versus evasion, it would be versus defense.
Okay.
However, you did only roll an 8.
So I spin. I go to spin kick and twirl like I don't know, like an amazing break dancer. And that's all I do is break dancing and fall back down on my face.
I'm gonna say you do a little spin and you kind of like do one of these where it's like, and it like hits his leg and he just kind of looks down at you like, what the heck? And like, you know, moves his foot.
I end up like this, like this, and I give him like a little wink, like a little spot, like all according to plan.
I'm gonna say he's a little bit distracted this turn.
It didn't even get up. He's still on the floor.
He is still on the floor. He did not choose to
Just
stand
get
up
up.
with his actions or his
Still just
movement.
there.
So
It's all part of the plan.
All part of the plan.
all right. So next we will have Jonathan. What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, I think I need to just go help out my my comrades here. So I think I'm close enough to go maybe just right at the guy that Chance attempted to take the legs out of, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit him in the head with the hammer the same way the padlock got it.
Mm-hmm. You do have a sword as well that you left them.
Oh, this guy needs a mallet.
I admit that maybe you forgot. Go for it. It's your
That's-
life. Live your best life. Your best fantasy life.
Yeah.
Your fantasy life is wrong, Jonathan.
A 14.
With the +4, right?
Yes, that'd be an
Okay.
18. So you do manage to connect with the spearman. Unfortunately, you don't get him very well because when you hit him, you kind of just wing him on the back of this like thick sort of like plated helmet. And you do get him enough to like where you hear a ding and he's probably a little bit stunned. Unfortunately, you know he's not that phased by it. He only takes 1 damage. So
Alright.
he probably has a little bit of a headache now, and that's about it. All
That's good
right.
enough.
And then, because the initiative track changed up a little bit, we're going to have the second guard. And now that he's set off the alarm, he's going to sort of take a position on that walkway that you're on and try to bar you from leaving. And that's going to be his turn. And then we'll move right back up. And let's see. Giles, it's your turn.
Well, now that I have my bag and I'm currently helping get us out of here, I'm going to ready my blunderbuss and take a shot at the first one as we start just making our way out of here, bolting. At this point, the civilities are
close to you?
over. What?
The one who's close to you?
There's the one that was currently stabbing her, right? Is
You
there
shouldn't shoot
any?
that one.
Is there anyone in that arc that would be behind her that would potentially be dangerous if it misfired?
Jonathan just hit him in the head, so he's literally right behind him. I would not shoot him.
No.
Especially
Then
because your
I'll get out of that
blunderbuss is a
direction
little
and go
bit
for
of
the
a...
one that because it was the other one was the one who rang the horn.
The other
and
one's
he-
clear, yes. He's standing
He's
on his own
out
at the
here.
end. Mhm.
Well, that doesn't help very much then. My blunderbuss is pretty much the one thing I'm useful for in a combat situation.
You can attempt to shoot the one at the far end of the sort of pathway you're on.
It's a wide blunderbuss. It's not meant for long.
Yeah, it
range
doesn't have a
shoot.
lot of range, but you can attempt to roll for it.
I'll just get behind his body. It's okay. Take the shot. We can do this.
You could technically, I mean, depending on what your evasion is, you could evade it, but I don't know if you want to shoot at one of your comrades.
I'm David Blaine, baby. Let's go. Shoot right at my goddamn head.
Really don't. Jonathan just freed me. I don't feel like putting him in harm's way at the moment without communicating it otherwise. So then what I will do, because Giles is a coward and he does cowardly things, except for talking, he's just going to run with the assassin's hand in his and just bolt for it. And if Chance happens to be along the way, he will pick him up as well too. And we're just going to get out of here.
Okay. Well, Chance is on the opposite side of the guard, so I'm going to say you can't pick him up, especially
That's
because he
fine.
just did his weird little pose
Then-
thing, and he's not really in a position for it to be picked up.
I will look at him like you didn't even bother to get up, and then bolt.
Niva,
So-
do you want to go with him? Would you say you're going along willingly?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
All right. So I'll go ahead and let you take your action now as well, if you'd like to.
Yeah. Yeah, willingly.
Yeah. We're just trying to escape, right? We just have the one guy that's blocking our exit.
Well, yeah, whether you want to escape or not is up to you guys.
I would say
Yeah, he's not doing anything other than just holding us
Barring
back.
you.
So let's just leave.
Yeah,
Who cares?
let's just goodbye.
Mhm.
Can we just all I'm gonna just bum rush him. I'm gonna pull a Chance.
Go for it.
No, don't bug.
I'm already
Don't you-
inspiring this team. That's a real leader.
Hopefully you don't roll like a 2 again.
No, we can
It's agility again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come
We can just leave.
No, my disadvantages are cleared, right?
Yes, they are.
You're gonna be prone like Chance on the floor.
13.
13. So unfortunately, when you rush him, he immediately he's holding a spear in a defensive position and he meets you sort of. And now you're like kind of stuck in this grapple where he's like pushing you back, and you know that this man is very determined and he's not going to let you escape. He's just trying to buy time for the rest of his comrades to come and sort of take control of you.
Yeah, but I'm close enough. Is that when I can use my one of my banes, right?
You actually inflict Banes on attack,
On
which
an
you
attack.
already rolled your attack.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyone want to back me up here?
Well, let's see. It is. Oh, what's this? Oh, goodness.
Great. I love when they pass you notes.
Is it chaos time?
Sounds like it.
No, but we get to roll. Someone gets to roll. It could help us, okay?
Yes, it could help you. So it looks like the subs have spoken and a rift is now opening. And you start to see a hazy glow in the distance. And a sort of like crack appears and light is coming out of it and it's flitting and it opens. And we have a chaos die. Who's gonna roll for it? Last time I designated Anna to be the cursed one to roll for it. I'm not doing it.
We should have our guest do it though, right?
Yeah,
Yes, it's not
Yeah,
the
I
guest.
think
Sorry,
that's
Jesse.
true.
Roll
Do
to
it.
see if it's something good
Roll
or
a
something
d20, Jesse.
Of course.
Come on, Goldilocks.
something good,
Hit us with
something
your
bad, or
fresh-
something weird.
Come on, golden boy. Let's do this.
12.
12.
That one's good.
That is the something that's not so good.
Oh, great.
12 pretty good though.
So out of this strange rift, you suddenly see a figure that is almost see-through, and it's like you can see through it. You can almost see it, but it's like light is bending around it.
Oh, of course.
And you see it kind of move quickly in the distance. And all of a sudden, when it starts to sort of materialize, all you see is these weird dreads before it quickly sort of goes and hides. It starts to flit around, and you lose sight of it again.
Predator?
It's a multiverse. It could have been anything.
For real, no.
You just start hearing it. You just start hearing it do knock knock jokes, but in like a really really raspy. Like it recorded it from some other rift and it's playing it for us because it can.
Oh, the jokester. Even worse than the Predator. He's got jokes. Oh, no.
All right. We have
Have to
Predator.
listen to this thing.
So it is now.
3-point triangle just like appears on one.
What are you?
Come here. Come kill me. Come get me.
Kill it.
In here. Kill me
My
now.
immersion.
Give the chopper.
What are you doing? Come kill me.
Seeing
Give me
the
the chopper.
strange.
I'm gonna literally. Anyway. I'm sorry. Who's up next?
Nothing's
It's
gonna stop
actually
this.
the second guard's turn. He's been holding you back, but seeing what is going on, he briefly kind of has like a what the moment, and has a crisis of whether he should hold you back or be worried about what's behind him. But for now, he's just going to stand here and hold you back and sort of hold the line until the rest of his camp comes for reinforcements. And after his turn, we come right back up, and Chance, it is your turn.
Chance looks at the rift opening and whatever came out of it, and then looks at the guards who are clearly distracted by it, and goes, "Ha ha! Distraction!" and goes to punch the guard.
Okay, so let's have you roll for it.
Don't we have weapons?
I have a gun, but I
I
want to
guess I
punch
have
the
a
guard because that's what heroes do. They don't use guns, they punch.
They punch.
But learn anything from Batman.
Yeah. I'm not trying to kill this guy. He can have a family.
Yeah.
So is this might or agility?
It'd be agility.
Yo, let's do this. Ha ha! Punch.
16. So you do hit him. Unfortunately, like I said, he is wearing a helmet, so he's not too phased by it. But you do gain a little bit of a sort of chance to possibly slip by him, since you do have movement left for this turn.
Yeah, Chance socks him in the face and sees he doesn't do much, but he turns to this other gentleman who he doesn't know his name yet and says, all right, tough stuff. Let's get the hell out of here. and he starts to like not run, but sort of like trot in the direction of the others.
Okay. Jonathan, it's your turn.
Am I tough stuff?
You are tough stuff.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
You're the only one near me, tough stuff.
Yep. Tough Stuff gathers his strength up and follows right along, taking the opportunity to skirt past the guards. Not really wanting to deal with whatever new apparition has just come to be.
Okay. I'm gonna say, since it's now the first guard's turn, he at least tries to take a glancing blow at you as you are running out of his reach, since he was temporarily stunned. And by that I mean you, Jonathan.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Do that, and then that. So what is your defense?
13.
13. So you actually successfully evade the attack. As you're leaping through and he thrusts at you with his spear, you just manage to get out of his range, maybe emboldened by being called tough stuff. You're just a little bit faster and a little bit stronger, and the spear does not connect. And now it is the strange, dreadlocked, sort of invisible, not invisible creature's turn.
You can't be two characters, jeez.
I'm just saying. All right,
I have to make the sounds. Distraction. Distraction.
Wait, what?
Did you pull up the actual sounds? I swear to God, I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Did you? There it is.
Thank you.
That's great.
So I'm actually going to have the four of you roll for your agility.
Did you just get a 20? Did you just get a 20?
Huh?
That's a 20, yeah.
Yeah, I just rolled a 20. Technically, that explodes.
We're all rolling agility.
Mm-hmm.
Of course we are.
Oh! Who got them 20s? Tudo.
Oh, man.
Oh! I got a dirty 21. Look at that.
Yes. Okay, so unfortunately, because Jonathan and Nimha don't meet the requirements to pass their roll, this strange creature flits by and has this strange, almost blade-like thing on his forearm, and he quickly takes a slash at you. Meanwhile, this almost triangular laser beam type of thing hits the planks right where Jonathan is, and the planks give out underneath him, and he falls into the bog. You can attempt to make another agility check to grab him, Chance, if you want. And then at least he won't fall in.
I attempt to grab him.
Chance!
Okay.
Take a chance.
Don't worry. I always have my teammates.
Ooh! And Chance rolls a 22. And so as the planks underneath you splinter and crackle and go everywhere, Chance manages to grab you just as you're falling off of off of this sort of dock into the bog below, and he grabs you. He's holding you by one hand now. Unfortunately, Chance is now sort of beholden to you a little bit because he can't move as much.
But I hold him, and then I look at both him and Nim, and I'm just like, "You're not the person I thought who'd fall for me." Yeah. And looks at Nim.
Jonathan already is struggling, realizing that Chance just saved his life, but him just capitalizing on this perfect opportunity, he's just he's grateful to be alive, but also just filled with jealous rage.
You just want to pull him into the bog with you.
Oh no. And now it is the first guard's turn. Oh wait, so Nimha, we're gonna have to, let's see, what is your toughness?
16.
16. So you're gonna take 3 damage.
Cool. So I'm
As
half
the
health.
predator sweeps by you.
Best assassin in A. All right.
It's okay. It's okay. It's only 10 damage. We'll adjust it here before I forget.
I think I'm the only one who's taken damage, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
You
Yeah.
are.
Literally the worst assassin. Literally the worst assassin.
Shit.
Seeing this strange creature just flip by him as it raced by you, the guard who's holding you back, and it's now his turn, immediately sort of like changes his spear position. Instead of blocking you, he now has it in a sort of like defensive position against this creature that is between you, Giles, and the rest of the party, who is now on the other side of that creature, if it makes sense.
Okay.
So that's his turn. He's going to assume a defensive stance. He's not sure if he's going to attack it yet or not, because he's not sure of what the hell he just saw. And now it is your turn, actually, Nimha.
Since he's kind of changed his stance, so it's the party, and then the guard, or the ethereal being, then the guard, then me, then Giles, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to take the opportunity, like, since he's like changed stances, to like sneak around him and at least try to.
Yeah, no, you could probably just get by. He's definitely focused on this other creature, the likes of which he has never seen before.
Can I roll perception to see if I know, like, is the creature solid? Can I hit it? Like, can I hurt it, or is it like an apparition where like it's just?
You definitely know it's solid, because when it brushed by you, you felt that this was not some sort of wraith. You felt that this was definitely something very physical.
Okay.
And every once in a while you see like a flitter, and you see like this weird sort of light bending ability kind of flit in and out, and you see glimpses of a creature that is wearing like a large mask and is bedecked in all sorts of armor you haven't really seen before.
Are there any, like, does it have like an Achilles heel? Is there any spot where the like armor isn't really connecting?
No, it's a perfect killing machine.
It's perfect. Great. I love that.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
There's the guy with the razor in the background shaving himself, but there's nothing to shave.
Right? Just a stone statue shaving.
Listen, the chaos die spoke, okay?
I'm ready. I'm gonna bust out the minigun.
Can we?
And I'm gonna start turning the turret.
Is there a way that, like, if it's solid, can I like trip it up? Like, are there vines that we can bind its feet? Like, at least to do something to
just
constrain it?
It's the predator! Run!
All right. I guess I'm just gonna run because my party is lame.
We are so gone.
We're not gonna kill the predator.
Do you understand? If we keep running, this thing is just gonna, for the next 9 episodes, this thing is just gonna always be 3 steps behind us.
That's okay, because then
You're
we will
giving
have
me ideas
predator
now.
and a village of angry elves that are gonna be coming.
The elves are worried about the predator.
Yeah, he's gonna
That's
stick
all
around.
the more
He's got-
reason. Let
All
him
right,
go
I'm
and
gonna
collect
run.
elven stones in the village.
Listen. Assassins don't run. Cool
You
guys
watching
don't look
this
at
debate is
explosions,
amazing,
and
by the
assassins
way.
don't run. But I guess I'm running only in the interest of protecting the rest of my party from future damage.
Okay.
Future
So I'm going to
damage.
say that you managed. Is there a particular area you head to after getting past this guy?
Yeah.
Do you try to get outside the camp and just get your bearings and wait for them, or how do you want to proceed?
I just want to meet up with the rest of the group. I just want to meet up with the other 2.
Okay. Well, you are further ahead than everyone right now. Because
Oh,
you
really?
were.
I thought she was
I
right.
was behind them.
No, she was with the guard. You were the furthest one across.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So the guard that was barring
Okay,
your
so
path
here's
was
what I'm
the
gonna
last
do. So
sort
I'm
of
gonna
barrier.
sneak past, right? I'm gonna sneak
Okay.
past, like, get out of the camp, kind of in this like quiet, very discreet. No one's there, and I have like my backpack, right? And I have my stuff, and so I'm just gonna like post up on a tree as if like I'm not injured, like I fucking belong here. This is like my jam.
Okay.
So
So you basically disengaged from combat.
I'm disengaged. I gotta
Okay.
heal, man. I need to bandage my wounds.
Yes.
You know?
All right.
But whenever they like come up upon me, I look like I'm just like, what's taking you guys so long? Like, why?
Definitely.
So
All right, Giles, it's your turn. You see your comrade take off and leave you behind. What do?
you told me to run. First of all, y'all told me to run. So
I am just mind blown by how all of us are such terrific failures, but none of us have acknowledged it.
Not all of us. Hold on, not all of us.
Giles will, upon seeing this creature just appear out of nowhere and slash my comrade with a I'm going to call it a Gonflex because I think that is a good name that comes up inside of my brain. As they say, strafe and shoot as I run as much as I can into the direction of my comrade and take a shot at the shimmering blinky thing.
Okay, go for it.
It's also a scientific term that I'm going to call it from this point forward. And I can't wait to write the scientific journal.
Do you wait until you're past the first guard to shoot, or do you?
I wait till I'm past the first guard.
Okay.
I'm essentially going to, again, just make sure that I, because this creature came behind.
Yes.
I'm still trying to paint the picture in my head. So Nim was basically being held up by a guard, and I was pulled her away from the guard. She kind of like was, I want to go back in there, but I'm like, no, go. And then I kept, but as I'm still running towards the direction that she's going, I just want to take a pot shot at this thing. So
Okay.
we want to see some green blood right now.
Maybe try to slow it down.
Yeah, I definitely want to see some green blood right now. Attack!
Oh no.
I got an 8.
How is this possible? How is this
It does have the
possible?
bane of persistent damage with it.
It does, but you rolled like a 3 on your d20.
No, I know. I'm just saying, whatever you're gonna make it hit, it's just gonna have persistent damage on it.
Yes, right, because I think it would be hearing damage, right? As we discussed, they would be like stunned or.
It would be stunned. It's the blunderbuss. I didn't know if we wanted to make it fire, if we just wanted to make it like a bird shot, where it's just like.
Yeah.
Kind of
So
like that,
you shoot, and unfortunately, all of the projectiles that come shooting out of your blunderbuss don't have any effect on this strange creature because its armor expertly deflects all of it. But the deafening sound definitely, he makes almost like a shriek and grabs his helmet and kind of has to sort of he almost whirls around it because he doesn't realize what the hell just happened. It's this loud bang, and for that matter, the guard next to you also immediately grabs his head and ducks down and is temporarily deafened. So you can attempt to get away if you'd like to.
I was getting away while I was doing this. So we're just going to keep doing that.
Okay.
And I'm going to laugh at the image that's in my brain of a colonial man with a mustache and a blunderbuss just deafening predator.
Yes.
So,
the first guard is going to skip his turn. I'm going to say that your blunderbuss shot basically forced him to take a turn to recover. And next, we'll have Chance. So you now are standing up to a predator.
Great.
It's a multiverse, okay?
No, I'm trying to. No judgments here. I'm very excited.
yeah.
I assume is it an action to pull up Jonathan to get him, because I'm holding on to him, right?
But you can take 2 actions.
Great. I want to pull him up,
Mm-hmm.
and then I take out my pistol and point it at the predator and say, "If it shrieks, we can kill it," and fire at him.
Okay. All right, so I'll just have you roll for that. That actually does connect. So
Yeah.
you shoot him, and you notice that there's almost a gap in between where his thigh armor ends and his calf armor begins, and you manage to wing him just right above his kneecap. And he takes you don't see much of a change in his demeanor, but you do see just a splatter of almost glowing green liquid just hit the deck behind you, and you see immediately the light bend come back, and he immediately starts to like flit around again and reassume its sort of stealthier form.
I turn to Jonathan and I'm like, "Now the fun begins."
You guys are gonna die.
Predator's coming after you, Jesse Cox.
All right, so it's
I'm waiting
actually
for those guards to show up. They should have woken up by now. Those some lazy ass guards.
I was gonna say you're smelling salt pollen's obviously not catching whiff there, cause
They had a
Although it's probably
crazy party.
better if we get out of here. And again, like I said,
It's only
Or
been
we
2
stay and
turns
fight
since
with
the
the favor of the
aerosol was
guards.
dispersed. So technically, this has all happened within the span of probably less than 2 minutes.
yeah.
You do hear a distant sound of commotion, though, as though people are starting to stir, and you almost see a couple of lights go on in some of the residences in the distance. But it is now this portal creature's turn, and seeing where the bang comes from, it immediately sort of ducks and dodges and leaps over the sort of shattered area of the walkway that you're on, and attempts to sort of like do an uppercut type of movement as it like backflips over onto the other side of the chasm to face you. So let's see what he rolls.
So it's cutting off our exit?
Oh god.
No, more like he's assuming a position behind Chance, because in the area there's like a sort of a gap where the floorboards were busted open, and he leaps over that in a very showy fashion, and while simultaneously sort of like slashing. So he's now between the second guard, and the two of you, Jonathan and Chance. So Jonathan and Chance, actually right now your only obstacle to leaving is the first guard, who is still a little bit deafened from the point blank. Probably literally, I think Giles, when he shot it, would have been almost right over his shoulder from the position he described. So he's pretty stunned right now. All right, let me see here. All right, so what is your evasion?
Who?
Yes, your evasion.
My evasion?
Uh-huh.
That's a great question. My evasion is 12.
12. Okay, so he actually does connect with you, and you take 4 damage.
All right.
So you feel sort of the blades on this creature's forearm cut through the side of you as it runs past, and you immediately just feel blood streaming down the side of your off-white shirt. And from there, it is Jonathan's turn.
All right. So Jonathan has to even admit to himself at this point that Chance has managed to pull off some pretty sweet moves. So he's
What sweet moves?
Oh, he did manage to.
Predator!
He shot the predator in the kneecap. That's pretty great.
While holding a man, shot the predator.
That's impressive.
I
Yeah.
haven't shot the predator. So Jonathan's feeling a little inferior at this point, especially in looking to gain the courtship of the lady. So he decides he needs to step up a little bit and goes right after the guard that is in the way of our exit, and
Okay.
takes out the sword in doing so.
Okay, and I'll just have you roll for attack.
Okay, is that going to be might again?
I think it's a normal sword. I don't think it was like a long sword, so it'll actually be your agility.
Okay. Oh. Good.
So you roll with your damage modifier. You actually, from the sword, you do hit.
All right.
It does help that the guard is at a great disadvantage because he's still shocked from this giant blunderbuss shot that happened just right in his eardrum. And you connect with him and you slash him down at this sort of part where his armor is a little bit exposed in his neck, and he immediately sort of falls to the wayside off of this dock and out of your way, and the path is now clear for you to disengage and to leave.
Jonathan, upon felling his foe, yells back to the squad, "Let's go! The path is clear!"
All
I
right.
think we're all in front of you at this
They're all.
Oh, they're all in front. Oh, yeah, my bad. Okay.
You just yelled at me.
Yeah.
Why are you just yelling at me?
Come on, squad. It's just chance.
Just Chance.
Just Chance.
All right. So all 4 of you disengage just as you're running down the wooden planks behind with all your life. Here and there you see these strange triangular lights around you, kicking up the dirt and kicking up the acid from the bog. And sometimes you see stray bits of the wooden planks around you just splinter up and explode. And somehow you manage to get lucky enough to make it through. And behind you, you hear the village, the townsfolk of this small village waking up, and you hear a clash of arms. And you have a small window of time in which you can kind of get away from this commotion and hopefully make the best of everything that is going on behind you.
Yeah, screw them. They get to deal with Predator.
So now you actually rejoin with Nimha, who is up in a tree and waiting for you patiently. And where do you go next?
Back to Schlechtenberg, because this is screwed.
We should at least find a place to like dress our wounds and camp or something, because we have a bunch of hurt people right now.
So with knowledge geography, can I get a bearing on kind of where we exited out from the little village at?
Yeah, so if you just
borders on uncharted territory. But...
Yeah.
Okay, and I already burnt my knowledge roll for the day, my guaranteed one. So let's just do this. Learning. Good job, Giles. Let's do a learning roll. 21.
21. So you remember vaguely walking up this path when you were first brought here, and you know that if you progress east for a ways, that was where you were originally being told by Dahlia to head, and that most of the rumors that you have heard of had been from the east.
All right. Well, without trying to explain it too much to my group, well, that seems to have been a bit of a mess, wasn't it? Let's get back at least out of here. I think I remember when Dahlia dropped us off before we were so crudely escorted to our potential deaths. I say we make some distance.
Jonathan agrees with that.
I'm gonna look at Chance and be like, "What? Are you moving on, or are you going back?"
Chance is like touching his new fresh scar, and he looks at the team. He's like, "Oh, my friends, the adventure is just beginning."
Excellent. Then I say we move forward then. And do you want anyone to dress that wound, Chance?
He looks at you and he's like, "Chicks dig scars," and looks back at Nim.
Yes, but also, if this thing is anything like a consummate hunter, it might smell your blood, and I'd prefer to not leave a pheromone trail, as haughty as you might be, on the way to our destination.
Chance Rip pulls off his shirt and he's like, "Well, if you want to see it so bad," and he walks up to you. He's like, "All right, hoity-toity, get to work."
Well, I don't think I'm the first aid one here, but let's see.
I got a boon heal that I can hit him with. I think so.
There we go.
I believe that one.
That one? And then
Yes.
Chance sort of looks around and he realizes, like, I don't know any of your names.
I walk up and say my name, Jonathan Jericho, as I begin to apply the healing boon to him.
Okay.
And Chance looks down and he's like, "Tough stuff. I like those hands."
I'm so confused. I'm like,
You don't need to understand this man. He's a world famous adventurer and a superstar. You don't even need to know. You don't even understand.
As I'm applying the heal, I look up and tell him, you do well to stop calling me that.
All right, tough stuff. I'll think about it.
do I need to have someone who has a heal ability to heal me, or can I do it myself?
You can attempt some first aid depending on what your knowledge your learning is like.
If that's the case, then I might be the best for it, since I still have the highest learning score potentially.
My learning. Would I roll for that then? Is that what I would do?
Yes.
Learning 0. Okay. Well, I'll. Oh shit! I can't do it. Nope. While I look at Jonathan and Chance like while he's bandaging up, and since I have like this crazy gash on my leg, and then I have another one on my arm, right, from where the thing scratched me as it walked by. So I've got like these two like wounds. I'm trying very proudly to not show. They don't like hurt. I'm not limping or anything, but they're obviously significant gashes and bleeding profusely because they took out half my health.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at Jonathan and looking at my wounds without saying that I need his help, because I'm not going to ask for help. I'm not asking for help, and I'm definitely not asking Chance to touch me at all.
Okay.
So I'm just going to kind of hope that they see this bloody, festering, wonderful mess.
Jonathan is, just tending to Chance and finishes up.
Oh, can you roll 1d4 to see how much health
sure.
he heals?
Yeah.
Because I think at your level, that's what it would be.
Oh,
Oh,
there
a
we go.
full 4. So Chance recovers 4 health.
Perfect. That's what I lost. You're good with your hands.
That's what they tell me. I'm going to slowly walk over to Niba as well and just simply say, "May I?"
Chance stops him halfway before he can do that, and like sort of pushes him back. He's like, "Don't worry, fella. I'll take care of this lady. I've yet to do it myself." He walks over and hands her a like little pamphlet. He's like, "We met before, but my name's Chance Bordeaux. I'm a famous explorer. Looks like you're hurt, little lady." And like hands you a pamphlet rather than addressing your wounds. Just gives you a book life story.
So I'm gonna like take the pamphlet and just like take like the wounds and just apply it to the wounds, and like take some like I've got some kind of leather strap on me somehow, and I just like take the pamphlet and stick it on the one like minor wound and just like heal it up, and just the whole time just like looking at him like fucking idiot.
Chance turns to the others and he's like, "Now I can classify my book as educational." And he gives each of them a pamphlet as well. And he's like, "I've been around."
We can tell.
I actually read it. I'm actually really interested in reading it. It's well.
It is.
Says here that you says here that you've. Oh my. Well, we'll be talking about this in a bit. I do say that there is a bit more of a distance we should be putting in between our little fray that we just had. And while I'm glad that Jonathan is all patched up, we really should be moving.
Can he patch my leg up before we go?
Yeah, I was gonna say, as you're saying that, I think Jonathan probably would, motion over toward.
Okay. Yeah, go for it. I'd roll just another d4 to know how much you heal.
How many times can you burn that, Jonathan?
Oh, that's a good question. How many times can I burn that?
I'm gonna say in this case, since you're not in combat, as many times as you want.
Okay. Cool. There we go.
3, so you heal for 3 damage.
Mm-hmm.
His healing skill isn't that high.
Yeah. Right. Not that
Better
great.
than being at half health. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually never deducted Chance's points because I wasn't on top of it, but that brings you back up to 15. All right. So, now that you guys have kind of healed up and gotten your bearings a little bit, you start to notice, especially Chance in particular points out that there's some tracks on the ground. And from a woman's small, high-heeled boot.
Chance is like, "Didn't you say there was another one of your team? One that betrayed you? I feel like that's an adventure."
Seems like we know where our fair Dahlia went, isn't it? Shall we track her down?
I have more than a few questions for her, yeah.
Same do I.
Chance slaps
Nivea.
Jonathan on the back, and he's like, "All right, tough stuff. Let's go ask him."
So, as you follow these tracks...
I was gonna say, well, go ahead.
No, go for it. Do you have a question?
I was just going to suggest, since we're following tracks and I may know something of tracks, is that I take point question mark?
Chance is actually pretty intent on taking point for some reason, and you're not
I've
sure
already
why.
left. I've already walked ahead of you.
Done.
Yeah, you're probably just like, perhaps I should take one. I'm like,
Perhaps
I'm walking.
Oh, okay. Well, lead on then.
So Chance takes the lead on this one, especially because he was the person who pointed it out, and he starts to sort of lead you away through this really dark bog. By this point, the sun is starting to come up. You guys are very weary and tired and hungry from your journeys, scratched by thorns, scratched by the bog and every possible thing you can imagine. And you keep following these tracks, and every once in a while you see almost a dark figure in the distance ahead of you. But just as soon as you get close to it, it seems like this sort of silhouette is always just far enough away. And you do recognize it to be the general...
We see a person? We see a person?
A silhouette, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you guys have any comments on that, or?
It's the silhouette. It's just in a sense that it's lit from the back, and we just see the silhouette of a darkened form that's just within our kind of eye line.
It's less of a lit from behind and more of a. It's too far in the distance, and the swamp is too sort of like. It's too dark and muggy for you to actually make out who or what it is. You just know that there's something humanoid there moving around in front of you.
Giles would like to make sure that this isn't some wraith or mirage or some siren that's going to lead us into an acid bog somewhere. Mm-hmm. That would be no fun at all for all of us. So,
okay, the siren.
Do you mind? Do you mind, my dear? Yeah. I will do some learning on this. Well. See if we are finding ourselves some otherworldly issues that we should be not contending with. 23.
23. So, although from the strange appearance of the creature and the fact that it always seems to be ahead of you, no matter how quickly you move, but yet it always seems to be in distance, and you feel like at some point it should have passed you by, you can't deny the fact that the physical sort of tracks in the ground are very real. And you know in your mind that a wraith wouldn't leave such tracks behind.
It seems odd. It is certainly a person, and they're leaving tracks, but yet we cannot seem to get the brush of it, as they say. So I would edge caution, friends and comrades, at this moment, and I might implore you to bring your arms.
So Jonathan wants to try to find any way he can to subtly undermine the bravado that Chance has brought to the team, and says to him, "Chance, what do you make of this? What is your expertise? Tell us."
Chance kneels down at the tracks and sort of swipes a finger across the dirt and sniffs it. And then he looks at the others and he's like, "Oh, it's a woman, all right."
What the I'm sorry.
It's because you guys said that your other person was a woman, and so he just said it's a woman. He's clearly bullshitted, but it doesn't matter.
Immersion aside, that's the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Well, we know that it's high-heeled tracks, right? Like, don't we know that it's high-heeled tracks?
Yeah, it's like a heeled woman's boot. Not a high heel, but a heeled woman's boot. You know, like a thick block heel.
All I did was act like I was doing something and then tell you something everyone already knew anyway, but did it in the most bravado way.
I should throw a treant at you right now, but I'm not going to.
Don't worry, I know who it is. Like that kind of thing. Like, that's definitely a woman.
I'm just gonna turn and look at him and be like, and she's still gonna also find you repulsive, and just like charge ahead of the group and just like storm off. Kind of halfling.
Noah starts to follow these tracks, and she notices as the adventurers walk on during the day that the silhouettes kind of stop appearing. Like at first you just see it less and less often, and then eventually you barely see it at all. And even as this is happening, the tracks are kind of fading a little bit, almost as if this creature, or this person rather, we know that for sure, is getting further and further ahead of you. But then yet, over the horizon, you see this strange town that is on the bank of an almost bay. The swamp sort of starts to give way, and it gives way to almost like a coastal type of foliage, almost like a tropical jungle that's on that's bordering an ocean. You see a bay that for some reason the tide has greatly receded and it's left behind what clearly used to be underwater. And you see a city made out of coral, or rather not a city, but a town that's been made out of coral in the distance. And as you close in on it and get a bit closer, you realize that this city isn't exactly what you expect, because although parts of it are made out of coral, bits of it have also been augmented by human beings. You see what looks to be your typical Schlechtenberg window and weird little buildings and caravans here and there that resemble things that you would be used to. But you also see large structures that have been built out of manipulating coral itself. And those are things that you're sure you've never seen before.
Is it on my maps?
The city? No, it is not. You are now in unventured territory.
I would like to start making landmarks on my maps.
You may do that, yeah.
Yes. It seems we found ourselves a coastal city. I do say there seems to be a common theme with this man-made nature that is prevalent all around us. And do the tracks lead? Sorry, Bronze. Does the tracks lead into the city?
They have become quite faded, but the last that you can tell is that they lead toward the city for sure. This is about the last settlement you can see in the distance. All around you is wilderness, and this is the first actual town that you've seen yet.
And final thing, if you don't mind, I would love to pop my not my virtue, but it's my benefit.
Okay.
Observant. It's my perk. Sorry. And it basically, for once in a situation, especially around this, the whole thing is odd. Mm-hmm. But specifically, observant says that you can use this ability to notice something out of the ordinary.
Okay. So what you notice about all this weird architecture and stuff that you're seeing, or what you glean from the situation, since you are a very intelligent individual and you have some knowledge of the land, is that it appears that this at one point was a Nivenelian sort of town, but it's been abandoned since and is now being inhabited by what you think, from a distance at least, is probably human beings.
Can I roll perception to see if I can determine anything, whether or not there's traps? Are they hostile? Are they before?
From this distance, you wouldn't be able to tell, but from what you can tell, it's just your sort of average sort of town or village. There doesn't seem to be anything outwardly dangerous about it, and especially considering that Giles knows that this has been or clearly looks to have currently be inhabited by humans, you have no reason to really fear it, because you don't have to worry about some strange local populace attacking you. And
I'll pass that information along in just the form of well, it seems an old Nivenelian outpost in which some of our Schlechtenberg friends have seemed to have colonized. You could say that they're ruins that have been taken over and turned into a little fishing village, I would say. If there's any better place to stock up, I would say this is definitely the place.
Can I, as famed explorer, check to see if I know what this place is called? What this
You
location?
definitely know what it's called.
Oh, okay. What is it called?
It is called Woe's Herald. And it was named for back in the day when ships would often break upon the tall coral in the bay when it was once full of water. But since then, you know that the water has receded, and the Nivenelian people have left this town, and it's since then been inhabited by human beings, and actually a little bit of mix of all kinds of different races live there now.
So I turn to Giles, and I'm like, don't worry about your maps, Fancy Pants. It's called Woe's Herald. It's a great place. Been there a few times myself. It's a nice little town. Nice little people.
Well, currently, if it's not in the maps, that means that Schlechtenberg isn't aware of it. So they must have some reason for not reporting back to our fair city of, or our fair outpost of Man, I can't find it in my notes right now. What was the
Moondew
outpost?
Watch.
Moondew Watch. Our fair outpost of Moondew Watch. So we may have a little bit of a bastion of rogues and thieves that we might be coming upon.
My kind of place. And he just starts walking towards it.
I'm gonna like look at Chance and be like, my kind of people, and just like follow him like right in with like no hesitation.
All right.
Okay.
Fair enough. I will just keep walking and drawing, walking and drawing, walking and drawing, walking and drawing.
As you
Jonathan's just kind
enter-
of examining what we're walking by, just kind of poking around every now and then.
Yeah. As you enter the city, it's really more of a village or a town, you see that indeed the human beings who are living here have repurposed a lot of the old coral infrastructure to serve their needs, and they've built little augmentations or add-ons where they need. You see a few sheds, you see like a blacksmith's bellows, and they've clearly kind of like adopted this sort of area as their own. But you also see in the streets many different species of elves and other different like people that are local to this land, and they all seem to be living together in perfect harmony. However, there is one thing common amongst all of them, and that is they're all looking at the three of you very strangely, but they're looking at Chance with a very much like, hey, what's up, buddy? And giving him high fives and things like that nature.
You seem to be quite popular here, Chance.
I seem to be quite popular with everyone but you three. He's like giving like, hey, and signing stuff as he walks by.
Oh, we must get another pint sometime, Chance.
What did you do to gain such fame and fortune here?
I've been telling you, I'm a world famous adventurer. It's what I do.
Does my like heroism tales don't stretch this far, right? Because if they're humans, do they come from like Schlechtenberg? Would they know about my like heroic acts or no?
Unfortunately, they wouldn't, since they live on
wouldn't,
the fringes of society a little bit here. Mm-hmm. And as you're wandering through the different streets and markets, and Chance has taken the lead a little bit to show you where to go, Giles, you in particular kind of notice something. You see a very lovely green creature whose skin is almost like bark, her hair is almost like leaves, and she is clothed in almost like a leafy garb. And on her hip, you see the strangest thing. You see
a teapot,
a Schlechtenberg pistol. But even oddly enough, you see that over her shoulder, she's carrying a sort of large cellulose sack that's full of things. And in it, you can see gleaming through this almost transparent membrane of cellulose like a silver teapot and a few silver cups and glasses, and they're tinkling. And she is now skipping down the street going,
oh, my tea set. Oh, miss. And I run up to her. Oh, I have to thank you so very much for finding my tea set. I appreciate your grand observation. Might I have it back, please?
And I'm assuming you tapped her on the shoulder?
Well, I kind of more, I more talked to her as I kind of
she
like.
She does not stop.
Over.
She keeps moving.
Oh, miss, I'm so sorry. A moment of your time, please. Just a second. Miss, you're being quite rude at the moment. I'm trying to have a conversation.
She looks at you and smiles from ear to ear and just continues to move.
Maybe she doesn't understand what I'm saying. And I start pouring through my notes to see if, well, first of all, I guess, since I was mildly aware of the fact that these creatures could be around, may I do a learning to see if by some grace I know a few words in her common tongue. I think I tried that at the outpost and it didn't go.
You may have known a few words of her kind's common tongue, but she in particular doesn't really seem to speak much. It's almost
because she's got a bark. She doesn't have a mouth.
Well, she has a mouth. She's
no
just
bite.
Not very vocal. She has an issue. She doesn't communicate the way the normal elves of her type would.
So then maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of like put my hands. Miss, one moment, and then I tap the teapot on the back of her sack. And she keep walking. Doesn't acknowledge it.
No, and she continues. She picks up her pace and moves quicker and quicker.
Can I walk up to her? Can I I see him like trying to struggle?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of like very anti my personality, right?
Mhm.
Like very merrily kind of like skip up beside her and pull one of the like super shiny like knives that I have that are like, you know, they're ornate because I'm like whatever. And I'm gonna like try to distract her with it to barter with her. To
Yeah, that was going to be the next bit.
for his teapot.
Okay, she takes the knife from you, looks it up and down, and hands it back, and instead plucks a whole like bit of hair from your head with quite some force that it actually kind of hurts, and takes that instead and says thanks and throws it in her bag and continues walking with just it's just like not enough to where there's a bald spot, but enough to where it really freaking hurt by just yanking a bit of hair out of your head. But she did hand you your knife back.
The last thing I'll do in this beautiful little side bit, just because I know that we're delaying this a little bit, I'm going to grab the rest of the tea set out from my bag, and then I'm going to hold it in front of me, in front of her, and go and just wait. And then I hold the whole teapot, and if she tries to go for it, I'll take a little step back and kind of like lead her with it, and I'll keep pointing to the teapot in the back and hold my hand out.
She is going to like sort of see what you're doing and look at you a little bit oddly and turn her head upside down, and then she's actually going to then take you by the hand and just walk with you for a bit.
Okay.
And
I'm going along with this.
She rapidly turns in through a couple of few alleys, and she turns into a sort of like small coral building with like a sort of cloth flap in the opening, and she pushes through it, and in it you see a gentleman wearing doctor's tools, you know, and he's standing there and he's like, oh yes, oh Nanki, you're back. Oh, you brought guests with you. Oh, okay, that wasn't quite what I was expecting. Oh, hello. Hi.
Oh.
Are you
hello.
here for tea?
May I introduce myself? I am the Viscount Fultonsworth. Nagi, is that your...
Not Nanki. Her name is Nanki. She's a very interesting specimen of Nivenelian culture.
Who is Nanki? Yes, is she Nivenelian?
Yes, she is what you would call a collector.
Ah.
And I see that for some reason she has collected you.
She did. She collected me as my...
yes. Maybe
did anyone
she's
follow me?
taken a liking to you. Sometimes she does do that. Or maybe she just didn't know what to do with you, in which case she brought you to me. Why are you pursuing my little one?
Nangi, I believe we had the pleasure of being acquainted as she took my tea set in the midst of the night.
Well, I'm sure you won't miss it. You can just buy a Viscount like yourself, could just buy another tea set. People like you may...
Why is she collecting items?
That's what she does. She's a collector.
And are you taking these collected items, and do you have a secret stash of all the things that she's collected?
No, she takes all kinds of things. Anything that whose DNA might be of use to her or her people, or just different specimens for them to study.
It's fascinating. I would love to learn more. I'm sorry, I believe I have you at the disadvantage.
Yes. I am Dr. Tavarik, or as Nanki refers to me, Tavarika. She does have a way with words, that little one. But you see, I can't really. I have a lot going on right now.
You have a lot. Are you a scholar or a scientist in this area?
I am a doctor.
Oh, a doctor. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
and where are your patients?
Dr. Tavarik. And I am here in this town investigating sort of a plague that has broken out among the people.
Are your patients here? Do you operate in a hospital?
Oh no, I mostly do house visits. You see, they're not quite ill so much as they start exhibiting strange symptoms. Not anything like I've ever seen before. It is very fascinating.
Well, I'm fascinated by biology and all things of the natural sciences. I know that you said that you're currently doing house calls. May I impart upon your time for some tea and talk? tell me more about what's going
definitely.
on?
I mean, these are things that we've never seen before.
At this point, while we're having this conversation, I will.
He is
politely-
nerding out very hardcore. He's like, people's skin. They're getting these patches, almost like scaly patches. Very
Yes.
strange. The skin is changing, and deformities are
yes.
popping up. All kinds of deformities, and yet
Did
they
I go
feel
with him?
completely
Did I-
normal.
Did I follow them when they were
Yeah,
like?
you guys are all inside of his house.
So can I, while they're like talking, can I just like, cause he's an actual doctor, I'm gonna take like the janky blood covered pamphlet that was Chance's like off my arm and like roll up my sleeve and just like sit down next to him. Cause I don't know what that thing scratched me with. And now he's talking about diseases and stuff. I need to make sure I didn't get some kind of weird ethereal, something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna sit down like next to the doctor and just like very like gruffly just like plunk my arm down.
Okay.
And like she already has my DNA. Just like very.
And while this is going on, Nanki has emptied up her bag on the floor and is like sorting all of her things like a kid after.
I'm just going to walk up and
after
grab my
Halloween.
tea set from the pot and just put it, start getting water on it and do the things that you do with a teapot. So
She's very upset by this, and Tavarak tries his best to console her, and he asks you to promise her that you'll give it back when you're done making tea.
I promise to give it back, Nanki.
And with that, she's a little bit more contented with you taking one of her favorite new toys.
Okay.
And while she's sitting on the floor sorting her things out in a very meticulous fashion, the doctor sets about sewing up. He's like, oh yes, this is very boring injury. I've dealt with a million of these. And he starts sort of stitching you back together. And you notice he's very kind of like a nervous sort of, just twitchy kind of guy. And he starts to tell you about these weird deformities that are popping up. And he looks over at Chance and says, Chance, clearly, haven't you told your friends about all this crazy business?
Chance sort of looks around the room, and at his new friends, he's like, "It hasn't come up."
Oh. Well, you think you'd tell your friends before you brought them to a city where there might be a plague. I mean, we don't even know how this thing spreads. It could be anything.
Jonathan's just
It could be
glaring
airborne. It could be
daggers
in
at
the
Chance.
water.
Oh my.
I mean, she's such a pretty girl. She could erupt in scales. We still don't know how it affects different people's biologies. I mean, it does definitely.
So is this good? Am I doing this thing or what? What is this? Am I good? I'm like looking at the doctor like, is this plagued or is this not plagued?
No. This is not quite how it spreads. You should be okay. We're not quite sure what happens. All we know is after a few weeks, the afflicted individuals just seem to go missing, or at least some of them do. We don't really know what's going on. I just heard rumors of it, so I came out here to study, for science. And he looks at Giles when he says that.
Yes. Interesting. Well, so what do you know about this plague at the moment? You said it doesn't transfer through skin or bodily fluids.
Not
They just
that we know
disappear
of,
and
I
they
mean-
come back?
I've been around these patients all day, and I have yet to be afflicted with any sort of strange growths or deformations.
And
Not
only the
quite
ones
sure
who
how it's
disappear and then come back are the ones that you currently see the symptoms of.
Well, no. What I mean is that people start to exhibit these symptoms, and then some of them just go missing. Not all
So
of
they
them.
show symptoms and then they go missing.
Yes. I don't know, I'm not quite sure where they go. It's a mystery. Chance, now that you're back in town, maybe we've heard so many great tales of the things you do. Maybe you could look into it, right?
Jonathan says, yes, Chance. Don't you have any sort of ideas here?
Well, we are tracking a missing woman, if I'm not mistaken. Strange your companion would just leave you. Maybe she's the key?
If she were the key to this disease, then that would make her a far more important woman coming from Schlechtenberg than what we were given to presume. Oh, I am definitely fascinated by this, however. I would love to help you, Dr. Tavarak, in order to learn more about what's going on inside of this, sadly, very estranged village.
Yes. Well, I don't know you very well, but you seem like decent folk, and I should definitely make it up to you for Nanki putting you through so much trouble. I, for one, know what kind of trouble she put me through when I first met her, and now we're just
How long have you been here,
inseparable.
Dr. Tavarak, if I may ask?
Me here?
Yes, how long have you been? When did you arrive here?
Well, I arrived in Amaurea several months ago. I actually can't quite remember, but I've been in this town for about 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay, and you were originally from Schlechtenberg, a practice doctor there, who decided to come out and help these fine
where
folk?
else would I go? This is a perfect opportunity. I must say, when I first got here, it was probably one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever been through, but I've gotten quite used to this sort of cavalier lifestyle.
I would agree so much.
You know, it is quite wonderful to have a conversation with a fellow educated man of Schlechtenberg. Like I said, I really do need to make it up to you for Nanki putting you through the trouble that she did. She just is the way she is. And he invites you into his home for the night, where he treats you to a roasted wild boar. He's treated quite kindly, being the only doctor in the village, as well as, suckling pigs and lots of pork, but also lots of vegetables and things like that. And there, sitting by his fire, talking about the good old days in Schlechtenberg, is where we will leave our heroes for tonight.
All right.
With Chance looking about quite shiftily the entire time, I believe, because he's been looking very shifty this whole time.
What secrets does a Chance have? Do 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 do.
I can't believe I owe my life to this son of a bitch.
What?
Led you to a plague city and didn't bother to tell you it was plagued?
Unbelievable.
I didn't lead you there. The tracks led you there. Don't blame this on me.
I have a feeling I'm going to wake up next time and be completely unconscious. I'm going to wake up in a dream state. Got scratched by some mysterious ethereal being. I'm just basically...
Just growths coming off of you.
Yep, you suddenly have dreadlocks.
That would be amazing. And with that,
cool.
we draw the end to our second episode of Open Legend. Thank you so much for joining me. And with I think that's it. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we head out, or?
See you next week.
I won't be here next week.
Oh, no.
Thank you so much for joining us. I had a great time today.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I guess we have to end it the way we started it, or?
Creepily? Very cute.
With a Zach
Sounds
face
about right.
going there.
Hey guys, you should stick around. Coming up next, we've got BattleTech RPG Madness. It's Death from Above. A bunch of custom 3D printed mechs are going to fall from the sky and smash each other, and it's going to be really crazy and awesome. You should stick around for that starting in 30 minutes. Thank you all so much for watching. I know Ivan's got to run, so we're going to let you guys close it out and get out of here.
I have a child to pick up. I'm sorry. I'm a father.
It's okay. Sorry,
I had to do that earlier. I totally understand.
Thank you
Yeah, I
everyone
get it.
for your time, and have a great one. You should tune in to the next week of Open Legends, where Jesse will be joining us again, and it'll be amazing.
Yay!
The Strippin will be here, right?
Yes. Or no, I think
No.
it's actually, I think there was a mix-up with scheduling.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll announce who will be here next week.
All right.
But what's important is you, the viewers, need to be here as well. Take it away.